Hi, my name is Madeline Collins. I did the Disney College program in the spring 2015 semester. My role was in entertainment. I was a character attendant. So to start off, the first question is, why did I do the college program? Of course, I think anybody that does the program will say that they are crazy about Disney and they're fanatics about anything Disney related, and that's obviously true for me because I love anything Disney and all movies Disney and all characters, and I'm a very strong fan of Walt, and of course what you would expect out of someone who does the Disney College program. But aside from that, I think that I kind of have special experiences in my life and from my childhood that have created this connection between Disney and me, that makes it very special. So Disney has been a part of my life from the time I was born until my 20-year-old self. That has made Disney so important to me, and it's funny. I remember the exact moment that I realized there was even a college program. I was visiting Walt Disney World with my family, and we were going to a restaurant. We saw that the lady had a name tag that said her college instead of her town, and my mom asked her what it was, and as soon as she explained that there was an internship for college students, I was all over it. And from that moment on, it just kind of became a plan. Not even a question of if I would or could I ever, but just that I will be in the Disney College program. So it's not that I chose it, as something small to do as part of my college career, but it was more like I've always known that was just going to be a part of my life, just because Disney is such a huge part of my life. Question number 2, how did the Disney College program help your future? I think that anytime you get any type of experience in the professional field while you're in college, it obviously enhances what's in store for your future and your career path and whatnot. But more specifically with Disney, it just completely enhances your professional and your career abilities from such an early stage in your life. I know that if you took classes, any of those classes that you take kind of revolve around professional development, career development, and things that will enhance that for you later in the future. So, I didn't particularly take the Disney courses offered, but just personally, it really kind of just working in the company gave me aspects that I know I wouldn't get anywhere else. Disney's such a massive company, such an expanding company, that even just going to work every day at my internship, I learned something new about working in the real world, working with other people, working in a large company where, not everybody knows your name, not everybody knows your face, and you kind of have to get along with everyone at all times. Also, as far as helping my future, I think that Disney opened the door for me to realize that Disney was going to be a part of my future, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Just from my college program, I knew that I would be back to Disney, and that the college program was not my only interaction, and that whenever I graduated or before I even graduated, that I would be back to work with Disney. So in a sense, the college program kind of paved what I would expect as my future with Disney and with the Walt Disney World Company. And then just, I guess, on a lighter note, as far as my future goes, I think that the Disney College program gave me some really amazing friendships. Our story is kind of different than what you would expect or what most people have, in that we are so close and we're so, such good best friends. You don't really expect that. And, these girls are my sisters now, and they will be my bridesmaids, and they will, talk to me when I'm old and wrinkled and when I'm getting married, when I'm having babies. And so just in that way, Disney kind of gave me a future with people that live all the way around the world from me, but I still consider them one of my very best friends. One thing I learned from Disney, I actually am going to break this into 2 things, because even though I learned many, many things, the 2 that I really took home from all of this was to trust in the system and trust myself. I know that everybody will say that. I don't know if you're going to do the college program now or later, if you already have, but from the moment I was in audition process to the moment I was leaving, people would say, trust the system. And in the moment, you're all worked up and you don't really know what that means, but it really just all kind of pans out. I auditioned to be a performer, and my application got lost, as crazy as that sounds. So I was put into character attendant, and I was very bitter about it. My heart is dancing. My heart is performing. I love the stage. So I was very upset. But in the end, I realized that was the best position for me. That was the best opportunity for me. So even though I didn't know it then, and even though at the end of my program I still hadn't realized it, that was the best scenario that could have happened. With the whole roommate situation, I would freaked out and panicked about who my roommates would be and how I could control that. And in the end, I trusted the system, and they gave me my best friends. So in that aspect, I think that everybody should know that it's okay just to let Disney handle it. Throw your hands in the air, and it's not fun, and it kind of is a painful process. But in the end, you have to trust the system because it works out in your favor. And then secondly, just trusting in myself. It kind of sounds a little dramatic and whatnot, but I think that when you are put in a position where you live in a completely different state with brand new people, on your own in a company that cares about you, but also in a sense you're just a number. You have to take care of yourself and you have to trust yourself. And I did a lot of growing up, moving to Florida and being called the Disney College program. But also I learned a lot about, what my feelings about things are and how I feel about the world around me, and trusting that I know what I was doing in my job. And when I was out in the parks and it was just me and, Mickey, I had to trust that I was making the best judgment calls and that I was taught and trained the correct way. And sometimes that's hard for people to grasp. And for me anyway, that was kind of a hard concept to grasp as well. My most magical moment, because most of my most magical moments I can't really share, obviously. I will say that my most magical moment was with my roommates, and even though this is what people would consider like a sad moment, I don't. And it's the memory of our last night together. It was very sad, but at the same time, it was also very sweet when I think back on it, because we had all just got done with our last day of work, and we greeted each other excited but crying just because we couldn't believe it was over, and we spent that whole evening in Magic Kingdom, and we watched Wishes, and instead of running around to ride rides or you know being with other people, we were just together and we were just kind of enjoying it. We sat on the hub grass and we took pictures and we cried and we laughed, and we laid on the ground of Magic Kingdom and took pictures with the castle, and it was kind of just a living in the moment type thing that I don't think most people get. They definitely don't get it in Disney, and they definitely don't get it in those circumstances. So I think that was a really magical moment for me. Not because I was sad I was leaving, even though I was, and not because I was sad I was leaving my best friends, but just the whole idea of it. I just spent amazing months with amazing people in the happiest place on earth, and it doesn't get better than that. My favorite roommate story. Oh boy. There are many of those. We definitely got into some shenanigans within our months together. But I think that when I asked that question, the first thing that pops into my head was our event when our neighbors were called the security on us. We had been flopping around and dancing and being crazy for whatever reason, and I guess the people below us didn't like it, and so they ended up calling security, and security came, and I honestly don't even remember the exacts of the situation, but we ended up spending the whole night up until 4 o'clock plotting against them, and we kept the room dark like it was so scary, and we snuggled up to each other, and somebody ended up making cookies, and it was just kind of nothing's really happening, but for whatever reason we feel like we need to stay together and snuggle up and plot against our terrible evil roommates who are calling security guards on us. My best advice for a future college programmer. Okay, I know this is very cliche, and it's what a lot of people I think will tell you, but there's no way to force it or bold print it as much as it deserves. But I think the best advice to give anybody out there who plans to do the college program is to just enjoy it. From start to finish, it flies by. I don't even remember the days in between that you think you would get homesick or that you would have nothing to do, because it literally goes by so fast. And when it's over, it's completely over. I will go back to Disney and I will perform at Disney and I will hopefully live with my best friends in Disney again, but it will never be, the same group of people in the same location at the same time. So I think it's important just to kind of like live in the moment and enjoy it, take as many pictures as possible, you know, hold on to those memories so that when you do leave, you're not as upset, as we all are once we leave Disney World. Bye.